We are kicking off our WWE 2K26 universe mode with a draft post-WrestleMania. I had to fantasy book WrestleMania based on what real-life WWE has given us up until Elimination Chamber. So before we draft, let's go ahead and run through how we got here. The WWE title we put in a 5-man scramble. Drew McIntyre would get the dub. Then Roman Reigns against CM Punk for the world title. It would be Roman Reigns picking up the victory. Then Aleister Black and Zelina Vega cheating to beat Carmelo Hayes for the US title. The IC title, another fatal 4-way just like last year, would go to Finn Balor. Then the World Tag Team Championships would be retained by the Usos, and so would the WWE title on the women's side as Jade Cargill takes down Rhea Ripley. The Women's World Championship would go to Liv Morgan. The Women's US Championship would be Tiffany Stratton, and the Women's IC Championship would go to Raquel Rodriguez. The Women's Tag Titles in a fatal 4-way ladder match, the Bella Twins pick up another Tag Team title win. 9 title matches, Gunther beats Rey Mysterio in a non-retirement match. Io Sky puts away Asuka for good to end their rivalry. Then Oba Femi tries to take down Brock Lesnar, but Brock hits him with a low blow to pick up the W. And then LA Knight puts away the Vision, taking out Logan Paul. Trick Williams picks up a huge WrestleMania moment, beating Damian Priest. And then El Grande Americano, with the original one, unmasks Ludwig Kaiser. And that's how we got to this point. Let's go ahead and draft. The draft will last 18 rounds, alternating between Raw and SmackDown. But after every 3 rounds, who drafts first that round will be flipped. So for rounds 1 through 3, it'll be Raw drafting first. For rounds 4 through 6, it'll be SmackDown, and so on and so forth. And then after the first 18 rounds, everyone remaining will be randomly assigned to each brand. Let's go ahead and hop into the first pick. And the first pick is in. Who will it be for Raw? It is Cody Rhodes. Adam Pearce stealing him away from SmackDown, and now Cody Rhodes, wanting the title back that his father never could have, that WWE title, will now have to go to Raw and work for the World Heavyweight Championship. For the next pick, it is going to be for SmackDown. And they draft CM Punk away from Raw, coming off that WrestleMania loss to Roman Reigns. CM Punk cannot win back that World Heavyweight Championship, and he'll now have to go for Drew McIntyre's WWE title. And for the second round, the first pick is going to be Randy Orton once again, stealing another brand superstar as Randy Orton goes from SmackDown now over to Monday Night Raw, and might feud with Cody Rhodes some more. We'll find out. For the last pick of the second round, the SmackDown will draft The Vision. You have to note, though, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are still out, so right now it's just going to be Logan Paul and Austin Theory until they return. But once again, another steal from a draft pick, stealing them from Raw over to SmackDown. And for the third round, Raw is going to draft Rhea Ripley. Coming off that loss to SmackDown's Jade Cargill, Raw wants her back, prime position to be the number 1 contender for Liv Morgan's World Championship. We'll go ahead and see how that pick works out for Monday Night Raw. Then over on SmackDown, for their third round pick, they will draft Bianca Belair, who, just like half of the Division, is currently hurt. We don't know when they're going to return, so it seems like SmackDown's drafted based off of potential in the long term, so we're going to have to see how that works out for SmackDown. Over round 4, SmackDown will now start drafting first, and they'll go ahead and draft Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf. What a pickup. It seems him and Drew McIntyre might not just be done yet. Now back over to Raw for their 4th round pick. They'll go ahead and draft Gunther, coming off of WrestleMania winning against Rey Mysterio. He's like the new legend killer, taking out every, older superstar, retiring all of them. Let's see what he's got in store for Raw this year. And now back over to SmackDown for round number 5. They go ahead and draft Charlotte Flair, not drafting as a tag team. She's a single star, working in a tag team currently, so she had to be drafted as a single star alone. We'll see what Raw responds with. And for round 5, Raw opts to go with Io Sky. They could have taken Bliss, changing up that dynamic, taking away that tag team, stealing away Bliss from SmackDown potentially, but they go ahead and draft Io Sky to really bolster up their women's roster. Back over to SmackDown for round 6, and they do go Alexa Bliss, keeping that tag team together. Couldn't get the win at WrestleMania, losing to the Bella Twins, but, maybe they are in contention to get a rematch for the titles they lost earlier in this past year. Now around at round 6, Monday Night Raw is going to draft AJ Lee, getting the IC title, losing it immediately. It's hard to tell what plans are going to be for her next. Is it time to move up to the World Championship scene? And maybe we're going to find out about that pretty soon. For round 7, back over to Raw drafting first. They're going to go ahead and draft the Judgment Day. As you can see on screen, all the Judgment Day members coming out. But one thing to keep note of, Dom Mysterio is no longer a part of Judgment Day. He apparently is pissed off at Finn for pinning him for the IC title, and he refuses to be part of Judgment Day going forward. We're going to see how that ends up playing out. Then now back over to SmackDown for the round 7 pick. They go ahead and draft Seth Rollins, another injured superstar. He's been on TV recently, but not, able to compete. Should be back pretty soon, but once again, drafting an injured star, banking on that potential for the SmackDown drafting pool. For round number 8, Raw makes their pick, and it is going to be Bayley. Bayley and Lyra came up short of the tag team titles, just like Charlotte for Alexa Bliss. But once again, Bayley is listed as a single superstar, even though she's in a tag team. So will her and Lyra end up getting split up? And they do. SmackDown drafts Lyra Valkyria with their round 8 pick, splitting up that tag team and probably taking away what was going to be Raw's round 9 pick. That might cause some chaos and some grudge between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis. So for round number 9, Raw's going to have to go a different direction, and they draft Obafemi, the biggest up-and-comer. He can dominate any division in the IC title, probably could enter the world title picture right now, and maybe even win it. Great pick, not just banking on potential, but banking on the X Factor right now. And to round out draft round number 9, SmackDown chooses LA Knight, retaining him on SmackDown. Picked up winning against Logan Paul once again, this time at WrestleMania, but it feels like now he's done the division. There's a bigger picture, but he has to compete with CM Punk, all the stars of the division, Seth Rollins, if he wants his first world championship with the WWE title. Over to round 10, back to SmackDown drafting first, and they'll go ahead and take Sami Zayn. You know, he's had a rough spot these past few months. World championship opportunities, losing every single one. The direction for him, it's hard to see, but you know, SmackDown wants to retain him as they seem to have a direction going forward for Sami Zayn. And Raw for round number 10, they draft Brock Lesnar. And we talk about what's next for Gunther before Brock Lesnar, you know, his end is coming. Is that what Raw wants to see? Are they going to try to set up Gunther versus Brock? Gunther retire Brock? Or is Brock going to take out, you know, their retirement killer, the new legend killer, Gunther? Round number 11 starts off with SmackDown once again. It is going to be Trick Williams. Not shocked to see that. Not too many superstars on the men's side going ahead of him. The direction for him is pretty wide open. Very similar to some other superstars. He could go to the mid-card just like Obafemi, but also he could also, just like Obafemi, go right into the world title scene. Pretty big pickup from SmackDown, though, ahead of some other younger names. On the Raw side, Raw follows it up with another big young name, Javon Evans, staying over on Raw. Big pickup from Raw. You know, all the charisma in the world, all the potential in the world. Not shocking to see Raw want to bring back Javon Evans. Right after they see SmackDown bring back Trick Williams. Now for round number 12, SmackDown's last first round pick of this round, it is going to be Becky Lynch. And I can tell you right now, she's away from AJ Lee, but considering AJ Lee got picked substantially higher in the draft by Raw, she's probably pretty pissed about that, especially considering out of all the members of that IC title match, she was picked last. Now over to Monday Night Raw, they're going to go ahead and respond with a woman of their own. It is Stephanie Vaquer, coming away with that WrestleMania loss to Liv Morgan. Will she be getting a rematch at Backlash? Or will it be someone else? It's hard to know because she dropped on the IC title division. It's wide open for Stephanie because she has all the star power, can really do whatever she wants at this point in her young career. Big job by Raw retaining Stephanie Vaquer. Now over to round 13, Raw once again drafting first. They go ahead and bring back Damian Priest. He left to SmackDown about a year and a half ago through the transfer window over to SmackDown, but he's now back on Raw. It'll be interesting to see where he goes because he seems to lose every WrestleMania. 2 years ago to Drew McIntyre, this past year to Trick Williams. Honestly, his world title run might be officially over. It might be better off in the IC division. We're going to go ahead and find that out very shortly. Over on SmackDown, they go ahead and draft Penta. If Raw's going to steal Priest, SmackDown's going to steal Penta away from Raw. So big pickup there for SmackDown, really bolstering that mid-card division. Penta won the IC Championship before Mania, but then ended up losing it with Finn Balor pinning Dom Mysterio, so Penta cannot win back that IC title, unfortunately, but the US title is right there for him to potentially get. Back over to Raw, they're going to go ahead and draft Asuka. And that's an interesting pick because she just got done with the Io Sky rivalry. Rhea was a part of that, so what's next for Asuka? It's hard to really know. Coming off, you know, a couple big losses here, not holding the tag gold. It's going to be tough, but I mean, with her, she can get Kairi Sane back to a high level. You know, the tag team picture could be wide open for them. Back over to SmackDown now. Dom Mysterio is the pick for SmackDown. It's going to be very interesting. He was just feuding with Penta, just lost the IC title to Penta before Finn, you know, pinned him for it. So now, is that rivalry going to continue now that Dom Mysterio is officially away from the Judgment Day? If so, it's probably not going to be good for him because, you know, he needed all the Judgment Day's help to pick up his wins and have that long IC title reign. And now back over to Raw for the last draft pick of round 15. It is going to be the New Day staying on Raw. Got that chance against the Usos for the tag team titles, but they couldn't come away with that WrestleMania win. Nonetheless, though, I feel like they need a big shakeup since that heel turn. They won the titles, lost them fairly quickly after that, and it's been really downhill ever since. And SmackDown's going to respond with a tag team pick of their own. They pick the Street Profits. Have not seen them in a while, but it would not be shocking for them to make a big return post, WrestleMania. As the MFTs are currently the SmackDown Tag Champs, it would not be shocking to see them go after the MFTs. And now for round 16, SmackDown back to drafting first. They'll go ahead and draft Nia Jax, once again in a tag team with Lash Legend, but drafted as a solo star. So we'll see if Raw is going to go ahead and screw SmackDown over like SmackDown screwed over Raw with the Bayley and Lyra situation. But Raw does not. They go Motor City Machine Guns. Big pickup there to boost that tag division. They needed to steal someone from SmackDown because the Raw tag division has been pretty stale for a while. So it's a pretty big pickup for Raw to really boost that tag division. SmackDown now will choose Lash Legend to continue that tag team. They pinned Rhea Ripley to win the tag team titles. Then they went ahead and lost them in that four-way ladder match. So not a clean loss, obviously. So it's not shocking to see SmackDown want to get those tag team titles back on Nia and Lash Legend. Back over to Raw, they're going to go ahead and once again boost the men's tag division. They draft the War Raiders, keeping them on Raw. That's another fourth tag team, the three they just drafted, plus the Usos. Really strong for Raw, want to really show they want to really invest in that tag division. Another big pickup there for the Raw tag scene. And now the last round of the draft, the 18th round, SmackDown chooses Carmelo Hayes, bringing him back. Honestly, Carmelo Hayes had that big US title run, got screwed over at WrestleMania. Aleister Black with Zelina Vega again involved, but he must be pretty pissed because you see some younger names. You see Oba, Trick, Javon, all get drafted ahead of him, even though he made it out of NXT before all of them. Probably a pretty big chip on Carmelo's shoulder. And around the draft in round 18, Raw drafts Sheamus, who we have not seen on TV in a long time as he's been out, but it would not shock me if he makes a big return. And with that, that is the end of the draft, all 18 rounds. So now every remaining superstar is now going to be randomly selected to each brand. As you can see on screen, a lot of big changes. You see Ludwig Kaiser still on Raw, randomly signed to Raw to stay over with Gunther after getting unmasked as the fake El Grande Americano. It's such a weird dynamic. We'll be interested to see how that one plays out. Chad Gable and American Made back over to Raw. They were on Raw a year and a half ago, then got moved over to SmackDown, but now back on Raw. On the SmackDown side, you see Rusev, you see Solo Sikoa coming back, you see Ilya Dragunov coming back, Kit Wilson coming back. A lot of the same faces with Rusev now in the mix as well. The mid-card title scene should be very interesting. On the tag team side of things, Los Garzas go over to Raw. Then you have Fraxium staying over on SmackDown, Alpha Academy over now to SmackDown, and the LWO over to SmackDown. Some nice changes going on there on the men's side. The women's side, you see Julia getting drafted over to Monday Night Raw. Should really shake up that mid-card scene for Monday Night Raw. Ivy Niles back, of course, without the American Made. Natalya stays over on Raw. And Piper and Alba, while Chelsea Green is out, Piper and Alba do get drafted over to Raw. So you would imagine Chelsea comes back over on Raw, even though she's not officially drafted. To the SmackDown side of things, Jordan Grace wasn't drafted, but is still staying over there on SmackDown. Candice LeRae stays over on SmackDown. Maxine Dupree with the Alpha Academy moves over to SmackDown as well. And Kiana James stays on SmackDown, even though Julia gets drafted to Raw. So it seems like that little friendship deal kind of business thing is now officially over with the draft. And with that, this ends the draft. I will see you guys in just a few days with episode 1, bringing you the first show of Monday Night Raw of this new season of Universe Mode. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in that first episode.